What if I told you we know more about the surface of Mars than we do about the ocean floor right beneath our feet? The Pacific Ocean. Right now, it covers 63 million square miles of our planet. That's nearly half of all the water on Earth. But here's what should terrify you. We've explored less than 5% of it. Ships vanish here without sending a single distress call. Creatures the size of buses hunt in eternal darkness. At the bottom of the Mariana Trench, 7 miles down, the pressure would crush your body instantly. Your bones would shatter, your organs would collapse. You'd be gone before you could even process what was happening. And despite our satellites, our submarines, our billions of dollars in research technology, we still don't know what's really down there. Last year, scientists sent a camera to an unexplored part of the Pacific floor. They found 37 new species in a single dive. 37 species we never knew existed. And that was just one spot in an ocean covering 63 million square miles. Think about that. Every time we look, we find something new, something that shouldn't exist, something that challenges everything we thought we knew about life on Earth. The ancient Polynesians called it the Great Ocean. Ferdinand Magellan named it Pacific, meaning peaceful. But that name is one of history's greatest lies. This ocean has swallowed thousands of ships, tens of thousands of lives. And the really terrifying part, most of them disappeared without explanation. No wreckage found, no bodies recovered. Just gone, erased. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna descend into the Pacific's deepest trenches. We're gonna ride out its most violent storms. We're gonna meet the creatures that live where sunlight has never reached. And we're gonna uncover mysteries that scientists are only now beginning to understand. Because what's hiding in the Pacific Ocean isn't just unknown, it's unknowable. And you're about to find out why. Let me blow your mind with one fact, just one. The Pacific Ocean covers 63.8 million square miles. Now take every continent on Earth, Asia, Africa, North America, South America, Europe, Australia, Antarctica, every single one, throw them all into the Pacific. They'd fit, with millions of square miles left over. Still, every mountain range you've ever heard of, every desert, every city, every forest, gone, swallowed, and there'd still be empty ocean. That's not just big, that's incomprehensible. Here's another way to think about it. You're standing on the coast of Ecuador. You start walking east. You walk and walk and walk. 12,000 miles later, you finally reach Indonesia. That's half the circumference of the entire Earth just to cross one ocean. Now imagine you're on a cruise ship, not near any coast, truly in the middle of the Pacific. You look in every direction, nothing but water. The nearest land, over 1,600 miles away. That's the distance from New York to Denver, except there are no cities, no highways, no rescue stations, just endless blue horizon. Ships crossing the Pacific sail for 2, sometimes 3 weeks without seeing land. During that time, they're completely alone. No other vessels, no help if something goes wrong. Just the ship, the crew, and whatever's swimming beneath them. In 2018, a cargo ship lost power in the Central Pacific. The engine failed. They drifted for 6 days before another ship happened to pass close enough to spot them. 6 days. They got lucky, most don't. And here's what that size means. In an ocean this vast, things can hide. Not small things, massive things. Islands of trash twice the size of Texas, underwater mountain ranges taller than Everest, volcanic systems that could trigger tsunamis reaching 3 continents. Creatures we've never documented because they live in the 95% we haven't explored. But size isn't what makes the Pacific terrifying. It's what that size allows to happen. Things that couldn't happen anywhere else on Earth. And we're about to go there, starting 7 miles down. Now let me tell you about the depth. This is where it gets nightmarish. Deep in the Western Pacific, there's a scar on the ocean floor, the Mariana Trench, a wound in the earth, 7 miles deep. Here's how deep that really is. Take Mount Everest, the tallest mountain on our planet. 29,032 feet. Drop it into the Mariana Trench. The entire mountain disappears completely, with over a mile of water still covering the peak. But depth isn't just distance, it's pressure. At the bottom of the Mariana Trench, the water pressure is over 10 tons per square inch. That's more than 1,000 times the pressure at sea level. If you went down there, your body wouldn't just die, it would be crushed instantly. Your bones would shatter like glass, your organs would collapse, you'd be compressed into something unrecognizable in a fraction of a second. Only 3 people in human history have ever been to the bottom. In 1960, Jacques Piccard and Don Walsh climbed into a submersible called the Trieste. It took 5 hours to descend. 5 hours of sinking into absolute darkness, the hull creaking, groaning like it was screaming. When they finally touched down, they looked out the window and they saw something impossible. A flatfish swimming in water that should have crushed it to paste. They stayed for 20 minutes, then rushed back to the surface. Walsh later said the scariest part wasn't going down, it was hearing the metal bend, wondering if this breath would be his last. The Mariana Trench isn't alone. The Tonga Trench drops nearly as deep, 35,702 feet. These are tectonic scars, places where Earth's crust is colliding, one plate forcing another down, creating canyons that make the Grand Canyon look like a scratch. For decades, scientists believed nothing could survive down there. The pressure too intense, the darkness too complete, the cold too extreme. No sunlight for photosynthesis, no food chain, just dead, empty water. They were wrong. Life exists in the deepest parts of the Pacific, and it's not like anything you've seen. Fish with no eyes, because eyes are useless in eternal darkness. Just pale, translucent skin stretched over alien skulls. Amphipods, think underwater cockroaches, the size of dinner plates, with mandibles strong enough to crush bone. And they swarm. In the footage we have, dozens converge on anything that falls to the ocean floor, tearing it apart in minutes. Sea cucumbers crawling like slugs across the abyss, bioluminescent creatures creating their own light, flashing, glowing like stars in the void, and bacteria that don't eat food, they eat chemicals seeping from hydrothermal vents, cracks in the Earth's crust, entire ecosystems that don't need the sun, completely disconnected from the world above. Every time researchers send down a camera, they find new species, not one or two, dozens, creatures that have never been seen before, organisms that challenge everything we thought we knew about the limits of life. But here's what should keep you awake at night. We've explored less than 1% of these deep zones. Think about what that means. We've sent 12 people to the moon, only 3 to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. We've spent billions exploring space. The deepest parts of our own ocean, we've seen them for a total of 4 hours. 4. In the unexplored 99%, there could be creatures the size of buses, ancient species unchanged for millions of years, massive predators living their entire lives in crushing darkness, and we'd have no idea because we simply cannot reach most of the ocean floor. The Pacific's depths are more alien to us than the surface of Mars, but unlike Mars, they're full of life, strange life, adapted life, terrifying life. But the creatures in the trenches, they're not the only thing the Pacific is hiding. There's something else happening on the surface, something we can't control, and it's been killing people for centuries. The Pacific doesn't just hide dangers in the depths, it unleashes hell on the surface. Surrounding the entire ocean like a 25,000-mile horseshoe is something scientists call the Ring of Fire, and it's exactly as apocalyptic as it sounds. Over 450 volcanoes, 75% of all active volcanoes on Earth. Roughly 90% of the world's earthquakes happen here. Why? Because the Pacific sits on massive tectonic plates, constantly grinding, colliding, sliding past each other. And when those plates shift, the results are catastrophic. Let me show you what that looks like. March 11th, 2011, 2:46 p.m. The ocean floor off Japan suddenly drops 50 feet. The shaking reaches Tokyo 230 miles away in 6 minutes. Buildings sway like trees. Then something strange happens. The water pulls back from the shore. People stop and stare. The ocean is receding. Boats sit on exposed seabed. Fish flop in the mud. And then they see it. A dark line on the horizon, getting taller, moving at 500 miles per hour. The wave is 133 feet tall when it hits, 13 stories of water. It doesn't crash like a normal wave. It keeps coming, like the ocean itself is flooding the land. Cars tumble through streets, buildings ripped from foundations, entire neighborhoods disappear in black water. 18,000 people died that day. 18,000. That's every single person in a small town. Gone. But the wave didn't stop at Japan. It kept going across the entire Pacific. 15 hours later, it hit Hawaii, killed 61 people, then continued another 5,000 miles to slam into California. The wave had traveled halfway around the world, and it still had enough power to destroy harbors and kill. That's the Pacific. One earthquake, 3 continents, thousands dead. And it's not just tsunamis. The Pacific generates the most violent storms on Earth. Super Typhoon Haiyan, November 2013. Wind speeds of 195 miles per hour. To put that in perspective, that's faster than most cars on the highway. Wind moving at that speed doesn't just knock things over, it turns debris into missiles. Telephone poles become spears, roofing sheets become guillotines. The storm surge reached 20 feet, a 2-story wall of water that swept entire communities into the ocean. 6,300 people died. And here's what makes Pacific storms uniquely terrifying. The ocean is so vast that storms have thousands of miles of warm water to feed on. They grow, they strengthen for days. By the time they reach land, they're monsters. Now imagine you're on a ship when one of these storms hits. Modern cargo ships have reinforced hulls, weather tracking, stabilizers, experienced crews. But even with all that technology, surviving a Pacific storm is a battle. Ships have to maintain specific speed and angle to the waves. Too fast, you slam into a wave and crack the hull. Too slow, you get broadsided and capsize. And then there are rogue waves, waves that appear suddenly, no warning, 100 feet tall, 10 stories of water, powerful enough to shatter bridge windows, flood lower decks, flip smaller vessels completely over. October 1, 2015. The cargo ship El Faro leaves Jacksonville, Florida. 33 crew members aboard. The captain knows Hurricane Joaquin is out there, but the forecasts say it's moving away. They'll be fine. They weren't fine. The last communication comes at 7:20 a.m. The ship is listing, taking on water. The captain's voice is calm, but the words are terrifying. We're going down. Then, silence. When rescue crews arrive, they find empty ocean. El Faro sank in 15,000 feet of water, all 33 souls lost. The black box recovered later reveals the crew's final minutes, the ship tilting, water rushing in, lights going out, and in the darkness, the sound of the hull imploding. Ships disappear in the Pacific. SS Poet, 1980, 34 crew members, vanished without a trace, no wreckage, no distress signal, gone. Countless fishing vessels, cargo ships, pleasure boats, they simply cease to exist. Because here's the reality every sailor knows. When you're in the middle of the Pacific and a storm is coming, there's nowhere to hide, no port, no shelter. You're thousands of miles from any coast, completely at the mercy of the ocean. And the Pacific shows no mercy. But there's something in these waters that's even more fascinating than the storms. Life. Incredible life. And some of it is so massive, so bizarre, that it seems impossible. Let me show you. But the Pacific isn't just death and destruction. It's life. More life than anywhere else on Earth. and some of it shouldn't exist. Let me tell you about something we thought was a myth until 2004, the giant squid. For centuries, sailors told stories, massive tentacled monsters rising from the deep, wrapping around ships, dragging men into the darkness. Scientists dismissed them as legends, drunken tales, exaggerations. They were wrong. The giant squid is real. Eyes the size of dinner plates, the largest eyes in the animal kingdom. Why so big? Because they hunt miles below the surface in near total darkness. They need to detect the faintest trace of light. Tentacles up to 40 feet long, covered in suction cups, but not normal suction cups. Each one lined with rings of sharp, rotating teeth, like razors that can slice through flesh. We've only filmed them a handful of times. Know why? Because they live where humans can barely reach, where submarines struggle to function, where the pressure would crush you instantly. But we know they're there. How? Because sperm whales surface with scars, deep circular scars all over their bodies from squid tentacles, which means there are battles happening in the darkness, 60-foot whales fighting 40-foot squid, and sometimes the squid win. In 2007, fishermen off Antarctica caught something they couldn't identify. It was a colossal squid, even bigger than the giant squid, 46 feet long, with rotating hooks on its tentacles that could rip through whale skin. They froze it. It's in a museum in New Zealand now. You can go see it. But here's what keeps scientists awake at night. That squid was a juvenile. It wasn't fully grown. How big do they get? We don't know. The Pacific is home to the largest animal that has ever existed, the blue whale. 100 feet long, 200 tons, heart the size of a small car. These giants migrate thousands of miles across Pacific waters, diving 1,600 feet down, consuming 4 tons of krill every single day. But even blue whales aren't safe. Orcas hunt in packs, coordinated, intelligent, taking down prey as large as great white sharks. And great whites? They patrol these waters too, 20 feet long, rows of serrated teeth, perfect killing machines, unchanged for millions of years. But here's what really should disturb you. We're constantly discovering new species, not just small fish or invertebrates, large animals. In 2021, researchers discovered a new species of whale in the Pacific. A whale, one of the largest animals on Earth. We didn't even know it existed. If we can miss something that massive, what else is out there? What else is swimming beneath ships right now that we've never documented? Because we've explored less than 5% of the Pacific. The other 95%? Complete mystery. There could be creatures down there the size of buildings, ancient species that survived mass extinctions, things that would rewrite our understanding of biology, and we'd have no idea. But time is running out. The Pacific is changing, warming, acidifying. Overfishing has depleted fish populations by over 90% for some species. Plastic pollution has created garbage patches the size of Texas. Marine life mistakes plastic for food. They eat it, they die. Sea turtles that survived the extinction of the dinosaurs are now critically endangered because of us. The vaquita porpoise, fewer than 10 left alive. We're losing species before we even discover them. But the Pacific isn't just filled with life, it's filled with people, communities living on tiny specks of land, thousands of miles from anywhere, and their survival stories are remarkable. But the Pacific isn't just filled with life, it's filled with people, living on tiny specks of land, thousands of miles from anywhere, and sometimes those people vanish. Let me tell you about Jose Salvador Alvarenga. January 2012, he's a fisherman off the coast of Mexico. Goes out for a routine trip with a companion. A storm hits, the engine dies, the radio's dead. They start drifting. Days turn into weeks, weeks turn into months. He survives by catching fish with his bare hands, eating birds that land on the boat, drinking turtle blood when there's no rain. His companion can't take it. After 4 months, he dies from starvation, from despair. Alvarenga keeps drifting, alone now with his friend's body. 438 days, 14 months. When he finally washes up in the Marshall Islands, he's lost 100 pounds, barely human.
He's drifted 5,000 miles across the Pacific. And here's what terrifies me. Alvarenga survived. In 2006, 3 Mexican fishermen drifted for 9 months. 2 of them died. The survivor was found near the Marshall Islands, over 5,000 miles from where they started. How many others didn't make it? How many boats are drifting right now? Bodies that will never be found. The Pacific is so vast, you could drift for years and never see another ship. But there's something even stranger. Ships that do get found, with no one aboard. December 1948. Rescue crews discover the SS Aurang Medan, dead in the water. They board. Every crew member is dead, eyes wide open, mouths frozen in screams. No signs of struggle, no obvious cause of death. Before they can investigate, the ship explodes, sinks. To this day, no one knows what killed that crew. Ghost ships appear regularly in the Pacific, found drifting, engines running, navigation systems working, food still on tables, but no crew, no bodies, no explanation, just empty vessels. Where did the people go? The Pacific doesn't give answers, it only takes. And it's been taking for centuries. But what's taking them? What's out there in all that unexplored water? Because we're about to discover something we still can't explain.
Let me tell you about the first European to cross the Pacific, Ferdinand Magellan, 1520. He names it Mar Pacifico, the peaceful sea. That name is history's cruelest joke. The crossing takes 99 days. His crew runs out of food in 2 weeks. Day 40, they start eating leather, strips cut from the ship's rigging, soaked in seawater for days until soft enough to chew. It tastes like salt and death. Day 60, the leather's gone. Now it's sawdust mixed with rat droppings because that's all that's left. Day 70, rats. The crew fights over them. Whoever catches one is the luckiest man on the ship. Day 80, scurvy hits. Gums turn black, rot away, teeth fall out. Open sores that won't heal. Some men just give up, stop eating, stop moving, wait to die. 19 men die on that crossing. Magellan survives the Pacific, then gets killed in the Philippines, never makes it home. But he proved it was possible, so Spain starts the Manila galleon trade. For 250 years, ships cross carrying silk, spices, porcelain to Mexico, returning with silver. One ship could carry cargo worth $2 billion today. The crossing takes 6 months, sometimes longer, through typhoon zones, freezing temperatures. Over 40 ships vanish, just gone, their treasure still sitting on the Pacific floor. We've found maybe 5 of them, the rest still down there. Fast forward to 1980, the SS Poet leaves Philadelphia, 34 crew members aboard. It never arrives. No distress signal, no wreckage, no bodies, just gone. 2015, El Faro, 33 crew lost. And then there are the ghost ships found drifting, crew vanished, meals still on tables, navigation equipment working, life rafts still secured, but not a single person aboard. Where did they go? The Pacific doesn't answer. 3 weeks at sea, and you start seeing things, shapes on the horizon that aren't there, hearing voices when you're alone. Your mind needs stimulation, variety. It's not getting it. Some sailors report full hallucinations, entire ships that don't exist, islands that vanish when you get close, dead crew members walking the deck. Others just snap. 1 minute they're fine, the next they're trying to jump overboard because they can't take another day. When you're alone at sea, your greatest enemy isn't the storm, it's your own mind. The Pacific has been swallowing ships for 500 years, and it shows no signs of stopping. So after everything I've told you, here's what should keep you awake at night. We've barely scratched the surface. 1997, NOOA detects a sound in the Pacific, ultra-low frequency. So loud their sensors pick it up from 3,000 miles away. They call it the bloop. It doesn't match any known marine animal. Not whales, not earthquakes, not submarines. Nothing in their database comes close. The frequency suggests something organic,
something alive. But it would have to be massive, much larger than a blue whale. For years, scientists have no explanation. Eventually, they conclude it was probably an ice quake, an iceberg fracturing. But here's the thing, they're not certain. The bloop pattern doesn't perfectly match any recorded ice quake. So what made that sound? We might never know. And the Pacific is full of sounds like this, unidentified, unexplained, coming from depths we can't reach. Remember the SS Poet? 34 crew members vanished, 1980. The El Faro? All 33 lost, 2015. The ghost ships found drifting with no crew? Here's what we know. The Pacific swallows ships regularly. Always has, always will. What we don't know, why some leave no trace, no wreckage, no bodies, no explanation, just gone. As if the ocean opened up and swallowed them whole. 2021, scientists discover a new species of whale in the Pacific. A whale, one of the largest animals on Earth, and we didn't even know it existed. If we can miss something that big, what else is down there? Every deep-sea expedition finds dozens of new species. Things with no eyes, transparent skin, bioluminescent lures, creatures that look designed by nightmares. And we've explored less than 5% of the Pacific floor, which means 95% is still unknown, unmapped, unexplored. Anything could be down there. The Pacific covers nearly half the planet's water. It's the largest ecosystem on Earth, the deepest, the most mysterious. Ships still vanish, sounds still echo from the depths with no explanation. Creatures still swim in darkness we'll never reach. The Pacific has survived for millions of years, asteroid impacts, ice ages, mass extinctions. But here's the real question. Will it survive us? Because the greatest mystery of the Pacific isn't what's hidden in its depths, it's whether we'll protect it long enough to find out.